With regard to Parliament, 16 questions have come in this last 11 years. It is largely from the first chapter of Indian Polity in Lakshmikant all the way till maximum directive principles of state policies or till fundamental duties. But when it comes to the mains exam, UPSC doesn't hesitate at all. UPSC goes all guns blazing. And we may have segregation. Okay, this is GS2, this is GS3. UPSC doesn't do that. Why is this question here? Why are they asking about terrorism in GS paper 2? UPSC has done that. One of the most important thing that the government of India did was that they selected a delegation of MPs to go around the world to tell them what has happened through Operation Sindhu. Welcome to OnlyIAS. Hope you're all doing great today. I'm here to give you the UPSC syllabus breakdown for the subject GS 2. General Studies paper 2 means the syllabus breakdown. Now you already know in many of the books, many of the textbooks, what they will give you a list of topics on governance, they will give a list of topics on polity, they will give you a list of topics on social justice, etc. Correct? I made it a little more different. I made it even more micro topic specific. The reason I have done this is to make you understand what this paper demands. So before we head on with our other topics of discussion, very quickly let me introduce you to the Srijan's Mains 2025 batch. Now what is this about? Anybody who has cleared their prelims in 2025, you are eligible for completely joining Srijan Mains program for free. I'm repeating it again. It is completely free for those people who have cleared their prelims. So what and all do we offer under the Srijan's Mains program? You'll be given the rules plus framework with regard to how to prepare for the mains exam. GS 1, 2, 3 classes will be there, which is exclusively mains oriented. You will also be having live ethics classes because ethics you need to handle it separately. Ethics is one such topic which you wouldn't have prepared even for your prelims. Lico live. Live answer writing. That means you will be made to write answers then and there. Then you have the test plus mentorship. Tests, you know, mains test series. Mentorship, when we talk about, it is basically to guide you to ensure that your hard work is in the right direction. Now, how to join it? Well, look no further. You have the QR code here. Scan it. Join us immediately. Getting the picture here. Please take advantage of it. Once again, I'm repeating it. If you have cleared your prelims for the year 2025, or if you know somebody who has cleared it, or somebody along the road where you stay has cleared it, please share this QR code with them. Please help them to utilize this opportunity. Clear, people? Now let's move on. So without any further delay, let us get right into it. In GS2, what we are going to see in this video will be a topic-wise breakdown, visiting the PYQs and how to score. That is what we are going to see. So, once again, before we head on with our discussion, this is my official Telegram channel. You may join here to send in your PYQs, that is the previous year questions answers of GS 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as the optional that I teach, public administration and your essay paper. Please ensure that you only send the PYQs, previous year questions from 2013 onwards in the PDF format. So, getting right into it, a topic-wise breakdown. With regard to Parliament, 16 questions have come in this last 11 years. Parliament related. Be it their working, functioning, committees, this, that, the procedures involved, clearly indicating what it is a very, very important topic. Now, if you notice exactly, Parliament is not such a topic which has a huge weightage when it comes to prelims. Prelims, it's mostly, when you rather see historically also, it is largely from the first chapter of Indian Polity in Lakshmikant all the way till maximum directive principles of state policies or till fundamental duties. Then you get one question each from the rest of the chapters. That is generally the trend, whatever we have seen so far. But when it comes to the mains exam, UPSC doesn't hesitate at all. UPSC goes all guns blazing. Because 16 questions coming from one particular chapter in 11 years clearly tells what UPSC means business. That means in a single year itself, you can expect at least 2 to 3 questions also. So this is one chapter which you should not skip. You should study it in depth, in detail, come what may. Followed by this, let us look at the next topic. Article 19 and Article 21. You had respectively 3 questions coming from 19 and 4 questions coming from 21. Even this year also, my prediction is you are going to get again a question on Article 21. Why? You have the Digital Data Protection Act or Bill. That one is there. Along with that, you have an entire article had appeared. Those who are part of my Titan batch current affairs, they'll be knowing it. An entire big article had been covered in the newspaper with regard to cyber bullying and how we don't have enough laws to prosecute people who are violating the cyberspace. That is passing sexual jokes, body shaming, personally targeting somebody, doxing, all these things. We don't have a proper system here. So I'm definitely expecting once more a question to come with regard to Article 21 and connecting with it RTI. This is what I am expecting this year. Clear, people? In addition to this, a finance bill was also passed, which actually allows government agencies to collect data from social media, which is again a violation of privacy. So this is the topic that I'm expecting here. So definitely I'll have to prepare on this. Now look at the next question. It's a question on tribal welfare. Will it come? Will it not come? 50-50. Why? Because there was articles published in the newspaper with regard to forest and the definition of forest and how Forest Rights Act will impact the lives of the tribal people. So again, as far as tribes are concerned, cover the judgment with regard to the definition of forest that is given by Supreme Court and how Forest Rights Act and tribal life are interrelated. Clear? Judiciary versus executive versus legislature. 13 questions in 11 years. Again, another topic that is of predominant importance. This year, we can definitely expect questions on the judge's appointment, the whole issue of the Delhi judge, Delhi High Court judge. We can even expect direct questions like what is the impeachment procedure? Easily. So why am I able to come to this conclusion? Because look at the topic, look at the nature of the topics. From that I can conclude, okay, from current affairs, these are there. So interrelated with the current affairs, do we have a topic here? Absolutely yes. So the Vice President making statements with regard to why judiciary is present everywhere, but executive cannot be present in judiciary. The context is very simple. That is, judges present when it comes to the appointment of CBI director in the panel. But when it comes to the appointment of judges, you don't have a single member from the executive simply because it violates the basic structure of the constitution. Getting the picture here, people. So this is what we are looking at. Then you have small states and governance. One question, that is, if the size of the state is small, the governance will improve. What are the chances that it may come? Very, very less. Interstate water disputes. Again, one question in 11 years. Again, what does it mean? Straight away from current affairs. What about Finance Commission? 3 questions. New Finance Commission has been appointed. What are its criteria for devolution? What were the recommendations or the findings of the old Finance Commission? Both you will have to study now. Regulatory bodies, again 13 questions have come. 13 questions have come, which again is more or less current affair related. So some of the bodies that were in news again, for all the good and the wrong reasons, definitely we know. Enforcement Directorate was there. I'm not telling Enforcement Directorate is a regulatory body, but the fact of the matter is when it comes to money laundering, ED is the supreme body there. And we may have segregation. Okay, this is GS2, this is GS3. UPSC doesn't do that. UPSC purposefully mixes topics to such a way that sometimes when we see a question, we are like, why is this question here? Why are they asking about terrorism in GS paper 2? UPSC has done that. So you need to keep in touch with almost all the regulatory bodies that were in news last year. Goes without saying. Pressure groups, that is agricultural pressure groups, industrial pressure groups, all of that. 4 questions whether you will have to do it. Federal relations, that is the state and the center. Definitely we know the whole controversy surrounding the new education policy, the relationship between governor, chief minister, all of these were in news. And again, once again, let us go to the historical topics also, that is FC's formula for financial devolution and how states will be affected by it. Delimitation exercise, how that will affect the prospects of federal relations. The entire gamut. Getting the point here. So you will have to prepare in this manner. Read it. Okay, this many questions have come. Then look for current related topics. In that few chapters, you will have to do page to page. In Parliament, which is obviously the biggest chapter in Lakshmikant Indian Polity, you will have to cover it page to page. No other go. You will literally have to put in efforts there. Because I will tell you, you will get a question there. No matter what, you will get a question. It could be with regard to the role of the speaker, the role of the deputy chairman, the way, what are the various disciplinary procedures that are available inside the parliament. Getting the point here. What do you mean by suspension? What do you mean by eviction of a member? What do you mean by completely removing a member from parliament, etc.? All these types of questions, you can expect it 100%. So you literally need to prepare answers for it. Better go for 15 markers only so that you can even compress it down to 10 marker later. So proper 3-page answers you have to prepare for each topic whatever is given in Lakshmikant. Getting the point here, people? Moving on. Powers of President 3, which is very, very important considering the fact that our President has sent a letter under Article 143 to the Supreme Court asking 14 questions that could come directly. What is the implication? What could be the potential outcome of it, etc. So you have to do it. In what context it has happened? Because Supreme Court has fixed a timeline now. Within what timeline the governor or the president has to take a decision on a bill. That entire thing can come as a question. Prime Minister, just 1. Uniform Civil Code, 1. But again, this is important. The reason being that in Uttarakhand, this has been implemented. So what are the potential implications of it? What are the rules and regulations or guidelines under it? So this could again come as a question. Ordinance making, etc. 3 questions have been asked. But to the best of my knowledge, last year you did not have that many ordinances, etc. coming out. It was like more or less decent only. But still, do the entire thing. Because any which way, while you are doing your parliament chapter, this will get covered there. Then the Indian party system. Two questions have come from it. That is the type of party system that we are having. Opposition, ruling party, all of this, how they are elected. The entire gamut of it, please study it. Comptroller and Auditor General, you have 3. Which means you have to do an in-depth study of our auditing body, supreme auditing institution in the country. And what you will have to do here in this regard is, you will have to do a complete analysis of it. By public administration, students will not find it difficult because I have already shared the data with them. You can also find it. It is not a Herculean task. That is, what is the performance of CAG over the last few years? One of the major problems that people do when it comes to their GS2 paper is that they forget to write the names of the articles. They forget to write the data, the current data there. The suggestions or solutions, whatever they give, sometimes it is redundant. That is, it is at least 10 or 15 years old. You need to give the latest solution, latest suggestion. Getting the point here? Constitution, you have 3 questions coming from it again. So the entire polity chapter, like I told you, preamble, the first chapters, etc. all that you have to read it again. Quasi-judicial bodies, you have only one question. NGOs or non-state actors, you have 4. That is, non-state actors or NGOs means those other organizations which are not part of the government but which actually helps in delivering governance. So you had questions on charitable trusts last year. This year also you need to find out which organizations helps the country in governance, etc. What is the advantage? So find out the examples for it. Then you have elections. Again, like I told you, delimitation commission. The way, the whole idea of, once again, one nation, one election. Why it is important? All that can come here as a question. Or even for that matter, why is it that elections to parliament and municipalities, panchayats and municipalities happens very shoddily? That is the delay, if you actually see, between the 2 elections, or the time gap between 2 elections conducted, be it in the panchayat level or be it at the municipality level, you will find it is sometimes 5 years, 7 years, even 10 years at times. So you need to give a clear idea, collect the clear data format of it, and then prepare. Committees of Parliament, which I told you again, you cover the Parliament chapter in and out, your job is done. Getting the point here, people? Moving on. Tribunals, 3 questions again. Once again, your entire tribunal you will have to keep a lookout for and see which tribunals were in news in the last 1 year. Cover it accordingly. Comparison of political and judicial systems around the world. So US president, how they function. Indian president, how they function. French president and Indian president, how they function. Judiciary in India, judiciary in Britain. How are the judges appointed? How are they transferred? What about the assets that the judges own, be it in USA or be it in UK? Are they disclosed publicly? Can corruption charges be investigated against the judges by government-based agencies, be it in USA or UK? These are the topics that you will cover there. So basic idea is, when you're doing a political system, that is when you're talking about legislature, judiciary, executive, it is understood that you have to cover it in such a way as to see, okay, if this is the system what we have here, what about the system in USA? What about the system in UK? Getting the picture? That is how the comparison always comes. You want to stretch it a little more further, go and find out how the system is run in France. Clear? Governor versus government, which we have already seen earlier. Then you have AGI, Attorney General of India. Just one question have come. This is what I meant by random topics can come from Indian polity. So that Lakshmikant textbook, when you are reading, they can literally ask any random static topic and they can ask you, what is the role of Advocate General of India? What is the role, etc. I agree. Most of these random topics also what UPSC selects is connected with current affairs. But we cannot pinpoint and say, yeah, this current affair means this topic is going to come. Because if you look at it like that, you will have almost all the topics coming in from the news. You can even sit and study CBI. You can even sit and study about Central Vigilance Commission. There will be no start or end to it. But the point here is, at least do a basic level of preparation and keep. At least do a basic level of preparation. But focus should be primarily on what? On those topics which have maximum frequency of repetition. If they have got repeated a lot, those are the topics that you will finish off first. You will cover then those topics which have appeared in the current affairs next. Then you will go for the rare ones. Getting the point here? You should learn to prioritize your preparation of these topics. Coming to governance, your questions on midday meal. With regard to self-help groups, 6 questions have been asked. Digital governance 5, rural governance, urban governance 3 and 1 each. And last year they had actually asked combining these two, one single question. That means this entire ball game of local administration, the strength, weakness, opportunities, threat, with comparison with international examples. That is, internationally, how do local bodies perform? Then the state administration, Then the central administration. All of these you have to cover. Getting the picture here. Delhi, after many years, is having a state government, and not a state government, sorry, an elected government, where the political party is in power is similar to the political party that is at power in center, at center. So now what happens is, we are expecting smooth administration. So you should analyze it from that angle. That is, if the political parties are same, will the administration become smoother? Will the administration become weak, bad? That analysis also you will have to give. Got the point here, people? Then you have corporate governance. Just one question. Like I told you, cover these first. So self-help group, NGO, charitable trust, pressure groups, other informal organizations in the country which were in news in the last 1 year, you are going to sit and study them. Clear? Inclusive governance, 5 questions. Health and poverty, 6 and 8. Environment, 3. Education, 4. Higher education institutes, 2. Women, 3. All of this clearly indicates what? The whole society chapter. Society from GS paper 1. Here it is more to do with social justice. So it's almost like a repetition. But what is the catch here? When you are writing it here in this particular paper, you are going to give it even that political dimension to it. That is, constitutionally, what is guaranteed to eradicate poverty, to eradicate or to ensure good health, or to ensure clean environment, education, higher education institutes. All of this you will sit and do. Plus on top of it, you will also find out any scheme or any deal signed by India with any international organization or with any other country to ensure to better the conditions of all of this. Cooperation among various sectors simply means, as the name suggests, various sectors to cooperate for the service sector or for good governance or whatever it is. But again, just one question has come. And this question you can answer it easily if this, as well as the earlier polity knowledge of yours, is strong. Moving on, accountability and transparency, civil service, 4 and 4. So overall transparency in the system. So it could be with regard to RTI, it could be with regard to corruption, it could be with regard to digital governance, which is again another topic in itself. So all of these are interconnected, interrelated topics. So when you pick up one topic also, ensure that it has broad applications. One topic, if you say for example, when I pick up digital governance, I can cover it. I can take examples of it. On top of it, I should also cover it in such a way that how digital governance ensures accountability and transparency. Got the point here? Then questions on Aadhaar, only one question had come. Media 1, sports 1, foreign contribution or NGO, that is the whole FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, FEMA, all of that, FEMA, FERA, all of that. Now that was again based on the current affair that year. But look at these topics here. There is no way we can predict it, that this particular question is going to come. Or because, okay, one question has come in sports, let me just check out all the major sporting events that have happened so far. You can take that risk, provided you have covered the other sections first. Sports also, my bet I will place it on the current chess tournament. That is where I will place my bet. That is, going by the prelims question paper this year, I wouldn't at all be surprised if UPSC straight away asks a question asking us what are the basic rules of chess, a game of chess. What does this particular thing mean? What does classical chess mean? How does it differ from the other formats of chess? 10 marker easily can come. Because it is there in news, repeatedly it is coming in. That is the main highlight here. Jammu and Kashmir, just one question. This time also I am expecting a question. How terrorism will affect tourism. Liberalization, privatization, globalization 1. With regard to children, one question had come. Demographic dividend 1. The WASH scheme 1. Taxation 1. Citizens Charter 2, ICT 2, ICT schemes, that is Information Communication Technology. Like I told you, your digital data protection bill could come over here, or the new finance bill that actually seeks to give the permission to the government agencies to actually monitor our social media account and our traffic there. That also can come as a question here. Getting the point here. So you cover it holistically. These ones here, specific schemes these are. This is demographic dividend, what I have marked as DD. Will a demographic dividend based question come again? Even if it comes or doesn't come, prepare. Prepare about the overall population scenario in our country. Because there was an article that had appeared in the Hindu with regard to Bihar's replacement rate being more than the national average. That is, Bihar's replacement rate stands at 3.3. And an average family has more than 4 children, 3 to 4 children, easily. So such questions can come here. Preparing such topics, you know what is the advantage when you prepare on DD, demographic dividend, child, or even for that matter, health, education, poverty, etc. That is content which can be used both for your GS paper 1 society and for your GS paper 2. There you will write it mostly from a social perspective, that poverty, how it will, that is how caste is affecting poverty, how caste can contribute towards poverty, how caste can become a contributing factor towards unemployment, how gender is a contributing factor towards inequality. It is mostly on those lines. When it comes to GS paper 2, we are writing it mostly from a polity angle. What are the provisions available within the constitution? What does the law say? What does the code say? Important judgments. Important judgments of Supreme Court with regard to these topics, child, health, poverty, etc. Even the very recent case of that arrest of that influencer, or how social media influencers can have a negative effect. Is it a violation of fundamental right? Is it a violation of the national sovereignty or integrity? Any format the question can come. So, like I told you, you will always analyze it from an angle of what? Polity here. Clear? Moving on. Gati Shakti, which is again a scheme-oriented question. DBT, both are schemes-oriented, and as we know, both were current affairs. So whichever schemes have repeatedly come in the paper, or any bill or act in particular that has been coming in the paper, you will take it up. Getting the point here? Moving on. International relations. India-Afghanistan 1, India-China 4, India-Japan 2, India-Bangladesh 2, India-Maldives 2, India-Sri Lanka 2, India-Africa 2, Indian international organizations 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 topics, please keep a lookout for. Because now Mr. Trump wants to exit from World Health Organization. That can come as a question. Or how the UN has become just like a scarecrow. Nobody cares about UN anymore. UN's power has diminished drastically. Even when Pahalgam attack took place and there was this very limited escalation between India and Pakistan, UN couldn't do anything to actually either reduce the tension or even try to calm down or cool down things. UN was not in a position. So the relevance of UN in today's world, in the 21st century, international organizations and bodies, does it have any more relevance today? Because again, when we talk about the tariff war, there is an organization called WTO. What are they for? There is something called as a UN Security Council. What were they doing when Pahalgam attack took place? Getting the picture here. What are these organizations doing basically? Are they actually reducing the tension? So these topics you will have to cover first before you head on with the other topics here. Because India-China relationship, it is very, very important, especially with regard to defense again. Because clearly, when everybody were boasting and boosting, the Chinese media was also showing China is having this, China is having that. Now, with the whole Operation Sindoor, the whole Chinese technology or the so called Chinese military hardware has been just reduced to what? Paperweights. Nothing more than that. Indian missiles, Indian defense equipments, etc., proved their mettle and merit beyond imagination. Clear? Moving on. India UN Security Council, 2 questions. India Pakistan 2, India Israel 1, India USA 5. India US relations, India Central Asia 1, Indian diaspora 3. This is very, very important. Considering the fact that now OPEC countries have decided to increase their oil production. So whenever OPEC Plus decides to increase their oil production, what happens is price of crude oil will come down. Price of crude oil is, when it comes down, it is good for whom? India, because imports will reduce. A $1 reduction, $1 reduction in the price of crude oil simply means the savings for India is around $1.5 billion. But long run, what is the issue? Remittances will come down. Why? Because if crude oil prices are going on decreasing, Saudi, Qatar, Oman, Dubai, UAE, whatever, all those countries, they will have less money with them, lesser jobs there, people will lose their job. They'll start coming back. So under remittances, our loss is said to be around $50 billion. That is the long-term loss. This is the short-run profit. Long-term, it will even affect our export market in the Middle East. Clear, people? Indian energy security, again connected with the same topic what I told you. India's foreign policy doctrine, which has underwent a sea change, considering we have decided to continue with the suspension of Indus Water Treaty. Number 2, we have not actually called off Operation Sindoor. Operation Sindoor is still ongoing. Neither the Prime Minister, nor the Defense Minister, nor the Home Minister has called it off, clearly indicating that one more bit of trouble from Pakistan and they will get it from us left, right, center, forward. So this is a new Indian doctrine that we are talking about here. An Indian doctrine which will not actually stay low, take all the beatings and then go home complaining or go to a corner and lick its wounds. This is about an India today that will hit you back fair and square. How much ever you have given, with interest, we are going to give it back. That analysis is what you're going to do here. Again, international organizations, whatever were in news, economic impact of agreements. That is recent agreement if you talk about, that is the UK FTA agreement that we have signed. I know. Sir, UK FTA means it should come under GS paper 3. I know. You know. But UPSC doesn't bother. UPSC can ask it even here. So here also when you write it, you have to write it largely from what angles? Not just economic angle, you should also write about it from a political angle, from a societal angle. You should give it as multi-dimensional as possible. Getting the picture here. When UPSC is asking a topic which belongs actually to another paper, what you do? You also don't hold your guns. You also go all the guns blazing, giving the multiple dimensional viewpoint that is necessary for that particular topic. Clear, people? Goes without saying, wherever possible, you should be drawing the Indian map plus the world map. These 2 things you should be knowing to do with the same pen that you're writing the paper with. Clear, people? Moving on. What is the easiest part of preparing for this paper? What is the easiest part? It is, first of all, mostly current affairs oriented. As soon as I started discussing a few topics, you also would have felt, yeah, these topics, fine. Even if you are not able to recall or recollect, still it is easy. Pick up any monthly current affair compilation from probably last October or September onwards. Take up Polity. Under Polity, what and all news came. Look for similar news in other months. That is September, October, November, December. Which all were the news under Polity that got repeated? Read it. There is a 99% chance that the topic is going to come. Read it, study it, by heart the facts and data. thorough grasp of 1 year current affairs is very, very essential for this. That is in-depth understanding. You need to know the article, you need to know its functioning, you need to know its strength, you need to know its weakness. There is no two ways about it. Clear? Historical topics that will never go out of fashion. Historical topics, when I say, for example, Judiciary, I know there is going to be a question on it. I know with regard to India-Pakistan, there will be a question, or India-China question will come, or India-USA question will come. I know from health, I'm going to get a question. From poverty, I'm going to get a question. I know with regard to governance also, I'll be getting questions. Digital governance, AI governance, etc. I am going to get. AI tools being used by Government of India, or AI platforms that are used by Government of India, all these topics, I can easily say they expect a question on it. And the advantage of preparing for these topics is that worst case scenario, let us say these topics don't come. You can still write it under way forward. The names of the schemes, the names of whatever AI initiative has been undertaken by the government to ensure smooth governance. Clear? What is the toughest part of preparing for this paper? Like I told you, you can get any random topic from Polity. They can suddenly ask you the whole structure and functioning of Niti Aayog. They can ask. So they can randomly ask any topic, 10 marker, 15 marker, it can come. The problem that many students do is, what they do is they start preparing for these random topics first. Oh yeah, a question had come on Attorney General of India. Let me study now every other topic like that. No. That means you are preparing for some randomness and you're sacrificing surety there. I know sure short topics which are going to come. That is what I should prepare for first. Because I know where that material is, where it will start, where it will end. I know it very clearly. So that I will cover first. Random topics, I will do it towards the end. Getting the point here? Absolutely static portions can be asked here. There is no clarity. Any question can come. Because the idea is simple. The idea is to throw you off track. Because many people will lose their mental peace as well as their calmness the moment they see such questions there. That nervousness will easily affect their performance with other questions. So you have to go into that exam hall accepting the fact that there is a very good possibility that they will ask some random question which I will not be able to answer or rather do complete justice with. But I will ensure that there are other topics from where usually the questions come. I'll do complete justice to it. That's what you do. And you will attempt the questions also in that fashion. Not that you will go 1, 2, 3, 4. No. You will first zone in on those questions which you are perfectly sure of. So it could be the first question, and then it could be the 10th question, then it could be the 15th question. You can keep jumping around. It's fine. Jump around is what I would say. Jump around. Take care of all the strengths. Then come to those questions where you're like, okay, I can write it, but I won't be able to do complete justice. Finally come to these absolute random ones. Clear? Random from current affair which tend to be overlooked by aspirants. So it is random, too random it is. And it can be overlooked by aspirants. Aspirants may not feel, oh, it is not so important. Say for example, Vice President made a statement, correct? That is why Judiciary is interfering in everything about the executive. That means what? What that means is, yes, we can discuss about Judiciary, the problems, all of that. Powers of the Vice President can as well be a question. Vice President's role is not that of a rubber stamp. Vice President is an important functionary in the affairs of the Rajya Sabha, and the importance of it, you can highlight it. Getting the point here. Moving on. What is the strategy for this? Strategy for your GS2 paper. Finally, what it is. Number 1, look for repeated topics first. Like I told you, that when you write a topic and when you put a number to it, you will get to know this I will have to do. In PYQs and CA, look out for topics which are going on getting repeated. PYQs we already saw. Now for current affairs, what topics have been repeated, that exercise is entirely yours. So you will take up the content section of the MCAs right from September or July onwards last year, and you'll start checking out, okay, which topics or which bill, which act, which constitutional functionary has been repeatedly coming in the paper. Even Election Commission of India could come as a question. Cover the data associated with them. Randomly writing statements like Vice President is like this or Vice President is that, Election Commission of India does not have power, this compromise, etc. Give proper data for this. There is always this whole doubt that Election Commission, that is now very recently also there was this whole issue where they said that with the same voters ID, you are having two lists. How did it all happen? Cover it. Cover that entire current affair. Getting the point here. If they are topics associated with legislature, judiciary, and executive, find international comparisons. That is the best way to prepare any chapter on legislature, that is the parliament, the government, and the judiciary when you talk about it. That is here in particularly the Supreme Court when you talk about, make a comparative study. How does the Parliament of India work? How does it work in the legislature work in USA and in UK? How does judiciary work in all three places? How does the government work in all three places? Try to analyze the topic in multiple dimensions. Very, very important. That means it is not just enough that you know the article. You have to give data for it and you have to say what are the implications of it, how it will affect the society, how it will affect the country. Example, Operation Sindoor and Indus Water Treaty. So Operation Sindoor and Indus Water Treaty, yes, we know, we attacked them, we destroyed their terror camps, etc. And then what did we do? One of the most important thing that the government of India did was that they selected a delegation of MPs to go around the world to tell them what has happened through Operation Sindoor. Trying to get the international support there. It was very, very important and we chose, handpicked those MPs. It ensured a solidarity, it showed a solidarity with the government for the first time, because generally we don't see it in our country. Opposition will be on one side, government will be on the other side. For the first time what we saw was the opposition MPs coming together in support of India, supporting the whole government action at the international forum. Indus Water Treaty, like I told you, it sets a new benchline. It sets a new benchmark standard. But the disadvantage here is if India can actually nudge Pakistan into toning down their terrorist activities or eliminating it completely, what if this is used as a strategy by other countries? What is the impact? How will China figure out here? Because if China decides to set up a few dams and decides, okay, we are not going to give you water anymore, it is on our side, we won't give you water, we will also open and close it whenever we feel it like, then we have a problem. Considering the fact that very recently you had northeast flooding. Getting the picture here? With that, we come to an end of our analysis, people. So this is what I am telling you. For those of you, for those of you who are still wondering, sir, how to segregate these topics, etc. I know many of you are wondering, sir, where can we get the segregated topics? It is available in my Telegram channel. All that you have to do is contact me here and I will send the PDF to you. Alright people, it is not at all a big deal. So irrespective of the fact whether you belong to our academy or not, we are all out here to help you, because that is what the message is from the founders of our academy. Alright people, so wishing you all the very best with your preparation. Any doubts or queries are there, you know where to reach out for me. God bless. Take care.